There's that. Hey, hopefully you can hear me now. That's looking a little loud, but it'll work for now. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's see what we can get going here. Apparently, the audio decided to drop out on me while I was doing this too. I'm not sure why. Awesome, Bun Buns. Give this one more moment here. Hi, chat. Meant to do that. There's that. Okay. Now I can hear myself once again. Awesome. Anyways, welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday to everyone. Give them a quick wipe out on the counter here. Hey, Lexi.
Woo.
Thank you for that resub. Welcome back. Excuse me. Hopefully you've been well. Seeming a bit high there. We got apples, we got bacon. Gonna be doing essentially gonna be doing two pasta dishes. I'm gonna do just a plain pasta, and then I'm gonna do a ravioli pasta. The ravioli gonna be stuffed with the foie gras. And both are gonna be served with a lemon cream sauce with some peppered bacon, some peas in there. And that'll be our main dish, whether it's just sort of pasta or whether it's ravioli. Haha, ravioli is pasta. Do some nice bread for this. Gonna toast up some nice squares just for this. Then the dessert for tonight, I'm going to make some apple roses, slice them up tightly, wind them up together, and then put them on a piece of puff pastry with some foie gras underneath. So be actually, I don't know if you really want it's going to be sweet, it's going to be savory. It's going to be my dessert tonight, but it's not really what I would probably classify a dessert. Welcome in, Nan Reader. And Bun Bun's happy to see you back. Have I ever met? I've never even heard of him. Welcome in. I forgot my mug back here. Give me some info. Who's Chef Proto? Welcome in. Happy to see you in chat. Not hugely great with names and all that, so I mean, maybe I associate him with something else. Institute of Culinary Culinary Education, as in ICE, or Culinary Institute of America, which sued ICE over its misleading name. Yeah, I didn't go to ICE. I don't know anyone down there. That's in, like, the city from what I know. What little I know about them. I say down in the city like I still live in upstate New York. Gonna have to charge this up again. This is getting tired and lazy again. Cheers, folks. Happy Friday to you. What do we start with? I think we're gonna start with bacon. Because why not? Turn the fan on. Get the oven preheating to 400. Get ourselves a pan. We don't get mine getting a little bit dirty because it's gonna get coated in bacon fat. And yes, I bought bacon, even though I have a refrigerator full of bacon that I cured myself right now. That's what you put dedication to. I consume quite a bit of space in my counter here with coffee between kettle, filters, grinder. At the same time, I don't have a hand mixer. We don't need an absolute ton of bacon tonight. This is me, thinking I only need 2 or 3 strips. I mean, we're just tossing a little bit in with the sauce. There's a couple. There's I want to say Swedish brand. It's got a name that starts with A. It's a mouthful of letters that I can't properly pronounce. It's a bit more powerful than the American standard, and then you have the American standard. I'm trying to remember if it's which ones are which for the mixers and all that, but there is pretty much a standard mixer that everyone buys here in the States. My problem is those are, one, they get loud really quick because they're plastic compared to the old school ones, which did a bit better. And so I would love to have an old school, even worn down, broken commercial one from ages ago if I could find one. My problem with finding equipment here, and I don't know if this is just a regional thing to me, but we actually have, for a county that does not have that many restaurants, we have 3 restaurant supply companies in this county, each with places, and all 3 of them are regularly hitting up the Craigslist and all that stuff, eBay, and they basically snipe everything right off the bat, and they're reselling it. So I don't have a good chance for a lot of that stuff around here. Oh, they sell new stuff too. But at least 2 of them, I don't know if the third one does this or not, but at least 2 of them have used supply areas. It's also because commercial kitchen stuff lasts forever, and it holds value very well. A lot of it is, the majority of it, California law that states that it has to be up to a commercial standard. It's very a loose statement. Generally, a lot of health inspectors will look for things to be NSF certified, which is a certification out of Michigan that it essentially proves that this thing is going to last. It's not going to contaminate things over time. It's built from things that are going to be safe. It's built from things that aren't going to contaminate. And so a lot of it is built like tanks, and it takes like 5 years to get the certification too. And so you can build a product, and you want to keep it as a commercial product, you got to hold it for 5 years before it's even fully certified. And so you buy a commercial spoon and it's $40. Well, it's probably $80 now. And so there's a major market for used kitchen supply. If you look, I posted photos of my mobile trailer, my mobile kitchen in the Discord today. And if you look at my ovens in there, they look like they're a freaking tank. I mean, they're um most of the commercial kitchen, well, most of the kitchen equipment I would not plan to buy for life these days. Like it used to be, you buy a stand mixer and it's going to last you for life. I sort of doubt that's going to be the case these days. And so I would actually probably, when it comes specifically to things with like motors and stuff like that, when I'm thinking about kitchen appliances, uh, I would go with cheap and works and does the minimum you need and don't waste a ton of money on it. Replace it when you need to in a couple of years. Um, I don't really see that many big names anymore. And it certainly isn't like, with everything being sold online these days, it certainly isn't. Uh, well, those are the names that, and if you can get the commercial versions of those, absolutely. Like, if you're getting one of the ones with that NSF label on them, yeah. If it's not, because Vitamix really makes its name in the fact that they're selling a commercial product to the masses because they've been able to make that commercial product cheap enough through mass production versus what the majority of them go with is a much higher price tag. Um, so Vitamix, I would probably say yeah. Actually, I'm even iffy on that now too, though, to be honest with you, because looking at this one that I have here, I absolutely love this thing. This is a beast. This is a Vitamix XL. It has a 1.5 gallon container to it. Like most people have like a 64-ounce one that'll handle, a third of that. Um, that's what this is. This is a third of its potential capacity. And this thing is an absolute beast. But they've changed their heads and they've changed their connectors. And so they're now getting into the game of making people update or pay money to keep with their older ones. It's just I really don't think, even though there is old school equipment that you can find out there and is probably very pricey, that is going to be worth it, but pretty much everything else these days is getting, I mean, when you're sitting there, I was getting into saying this before, but when you're just comparing them on a website these days, no one's selling things for longevity anymore. No one's, like saying, hey, are things going to last you forever anymore? Hey, Clipper, how you doing today? Let's do our battle here. First battle of the evening. Victory. Victory. Ed Milt getting the assist there. Honorable mention to Entropy, Div Wilson, and Lin J. Everyone out there getting some damage done there. Bun Buns with all those assists too. Welcome in. Did I get that right saying Ed? I stared at that for a moment trying to figure that one out. I'm going to go to the top this time. And I'm not going to use a tank, though. I'm going to use a warrior. Excuse me. There are several bans on foie gras. I'm not sure about the current situation in New York City. However, I live in California. And here in California, it is not legal to sell in essentially any form. So in other words, you can't produce it. You can't buy it as a restaurant and resell it. You can't be a gourmet shop and import it and resell it. However, it is perfectly legal for you to buy and have yourself. And that was just recently proven in court. And the foie gras that I have is actually coming from the state of New York. But it's coming upstate New York. Hudson Valley foie gras. And that is because some people view it, it's very graphically production where these ducks are essentially force fed, but at the same time, it is this time of year when they're using the term force fed when they will happily do this. How does it taste? It's got a texture and flavor that can play. It's savory, but it can play along in the peanut butter territory. You see a lot of like peanut butter and jelly style fine dining plates, or plays off of peanut butter and jelly, or foie gras and fruit. You see a lot of it's just seared by itself or fried by itself. You're in Vegas, it's a thing for people to get whole lobes of fried foie gras just because you're in Vegas and you won big and you want to waste a ton of money. I have never heard of that, but people try and imitate everything. People try and do fake things of everything or faux versions, so I haven't seen anything sold that you can get that was an imitation. It's certainly not like the livers of just about anything. I wouldn't even compare it to chicken liver because chicken liver is so different in flavor from it too. Let's see what else we got going on here with Stream Raiders tonight. Yeah, you get a lot of irony, bloody. Well, you get a lot of blood in the liver. And that's actually one of the problems with preparing foie gras. I've already done it with this one. but you have to remove the veins from it, which if you're using a whole lobe, it's relatively okay that you can do it because you can sort of follow the veins through the lobe of foie gras. But what I got were chopped up pieces, and I sort of just strained it and made sure that it all came out. Okay, let's go back to doing some cooking here. You can put that bacon in first. Take a look at that in 17 minutes here. Get my durum flour out for our pasta dough tonight. Get her hooked by the scramble. Nice, Arvin. You have to type exclamation mark scramble for each of the games in order to join in. So if you type exclamation mark scramble and then adobo again, you'll get your points for doing that. Got a new bag for my compost and it's trying to stay closed on me, so I gotta get down there and open it up every time I go and try and put something in it. I use old paper bags. Like, I have a container, but I use paper bags to sort of semi-contain. Yeah, let's just throw all three of these in there for right now. We'll do the whole ones first. Sous vide is an amazing tool. I love using mine. I doubt I used mine enough to get enough value out of it. So it's a question of how much you're going to use it, sort of a thing. I think they're great for all sorts of things. Um, so and they're a very energy efficient way of cooking things too. So especially if you're using the same bath for multiple things on a regular basis. When you're trying to cook some soft cooked eggs, precision, degree precision is mighty sexy, yes. Get off of there, White. Most people at home, well, you have it's an oven that uses steam is the quick answer. Yes. It's a typical home stoves. You have one of two types. Newer ones are typically convection. Older ones are conventional. Convection has a fan in there, so it's blowing air around the oven, keeping it at a constant temperature. Combi ovens add in steam. Some of them add in microwave as well. So you can have a tool that's using all of those in there in one. And then you get into what people think are fryers, and they're billing as fryers, but the air fryers that everyone's buying are really just modern convection ovens where they're using properly directed hot air, like the ones that you have in Subway and Starbucks, and those are essentially air fryers. They just call them ovens. But if they told people they were ovens, no one would buy them because everyone would be like, I already got an oven. Why am I spending $200 on another one? Or whatever they cost. I don't even know what they cost. Um, One of the makers, I'm forgetting the name of the company, but is it a Nova? One of the companies that's known for doing immersion circulators or sous vide machines is coming out with a combi oven, or came out with one last holiday season. Well, that's also the problem with them in home kitchens too, is combi ovens, because they're using steam, they obviously need water hookups to them. And that one works sort of like most of your uh, K-cups, where you've got like a water reservoir that's doing the steam instead of a proper water hookup. Yeah, it didn't look like it was a huge reservoir. I mean, it didn't look like it was tiny, but for an oven and producing a fair amount of steam, though, you'd have to like refill that almost every time you use it, I think. And the other problem with that oven is, if I'm going to spend that much money on an oven and get one of my own, yeah, is I want one that's going to be able, not just a chicken, but a turkey, or like pork butt, or this needs a little bit more moisture to it, so I'm going to add one of those whites in there. That's sort of the same problem that I have with those Uni outdoor pizza ovens. Is I couldn't put a loaf of bread in them. They're too. I mean, because they're designed for pizzas, for wide, but relatively not tall or short products. It's not something that you could really fit a loaf of bread in. And I would want to use my pizza oven for many things, not just pizza, but definitely for bread too. That they are, Arvin, is about air fryers. Well, I wouldn't call them just glorified convection ovens, but they're essentially modern convection ovens. There's no real difference. The difference between a convection oven and the air fryers is the air fryers are using very well. I mean, if you think about it, nowadays we have computers that can calculate proper airflow. So it's just a fan. So it's just convection oven, but that fan's airflow has been designed, and the chamber has been designed to very specifically make use of that fan, if you get what I mean by that. So someone out there spent a lot of money designing this perfectly aerodynamic chamber for an air fryer, and then everyone else just stole it. It's the current ingredient. Oh, I mean, before that, it was the Instant Pot. It's the current house appliance that everyone has to gift right now. Like I said, if they sold it as an oven, no one would buy it. Sure. Got a little of that right here. If you look in my past streams, I harvested a half pig the other night. And so that's the second hand. That's the secondary lard. It's not the good lard, it's the frying lard. I don't know what the price points are. But, I mean, you walk in your local cash and carry or Restaurant Depot or Smart and Final. Is that the name of it? Most of them got all those oils in the big, those big square cardboard boxes with the giant plastic on them designed for all the fryers. You can buy all sorts of stuff in those. Usually it won't be like straight lard though, because it'll be pourable. Let's take a look at our bacon. Ooh, that's good. It's like I designed that camera to show a pan of bacon. I've been saying it for a week or two now. At least 2 weeks, I think. But cooking oils are right there with something else that's being affected by politics right now. Ukraine was one of the world's top producers of sunflower oil. Really liking how this pasta dough is feeling. Not really proofing it. I don't know why I'm rolling it underneath itself there. Like I'm balling it. But we'll let that rest for a little bit. Pull the bacon off to finish drying on paper towel. Yeah. I need some way I can hold this in the corner. Let's start a new one. I think it's time for a new bacon fat container. We got a new pig in the house. Let's use a new bacon fat container. Sorry, I can't reach my Stream Deck to change the perspective. Hey, Mel! What's got you all exhausted? Welcome in. It's still dripping quickly. Okay. I'm tired of holding it. So we got a decent amount of fat off that, do a little sauteing later with. We got some nice, well cooked, but I wouldn't say necessarily crispy. This is definitely in the chewy territory still. Cook them a bit longer. What do we want to do for that? Nice. I have a freezer full of Taki and Taki Fuego and pineapple ice cream. And I don't know if I'm going to go through it. Let's see, can I do these with a quarter? Yeah, I think I can get away with a quarter on these. I'll wait till the rest of frost to cut them, but need to do testing somehow. Yeah, those will be fine. I don't know how many of these I want to do, though, either. That might be enough for what I was going to do for dinner tonight. Maybe I'll do one more. Save the other two for something else later. These have been really nice. Some Middle Eastern company is selling puff pastry in like 4-inch by 4-inch or what size? 5 by 5 squares versus the giant sheets, but they're folded and you got to wait and sort of like practice defrosting them and unfolding them at the same time, sort of a thing. And the fat that they're using in them is really good. It's actually better than the puff pastry in like typical puff pastry. So I've been really liking these. What else do we want to put together for with the apples? We have I grabbed 2 gala apples for today. Apparently from 2 different sources. They have 2 different stickers on them. That's sort of common for this place, though. They do a lot of local stuff. They supply a lot of restaurants in the area, and yeah, like best produce you'll probably find in the county, short of going to a farmer's market. Um, eh, in Wally's, there's a couple of decent places. Nice smell. I'm going to get some lemon. That smells good. Fresh lemon scent. Yeah, let's go brown sugar. I've got so much brown sugar in the house. I double ordered brown sugar. I buy my sugars and several other things sort of by the case at the time. And so, because I got wire racks to hold them and buy them in bulk for a cheaper price. And I double ordered on myself on dark brown sugar, so I've got like 16 of these packs, something like that. It's going to take me a while to get through that. So I'm trying to use them more often. Ground cinnamon. Cardamom. Bun buns, it depends on where you are, but here in the States, basically, yes. If your brown sugar is not solidifying into a giant block, and even most American sugar will still do this if you leave it in air long enough, but like, if you aren't buying it like in a crystal block, it's probably not real brown sugar. At the same time, everyone's used to the cheap imitation brown sugar. So I'm gonna get my mini whisk out for this. But we need some nutmeg in there first too. Thank you, Bun Buns. I had. Are we ready for our battle again? My neglecting the battle. Let us go to war. Melt. Look at that rogue just crossing the whole map to go after. We split up. Let's see if we're going to be able to do this. We've lost about half of our units. We do have Lin Jay's fearsome kitty out there. Or is that a dog? I can't quite tell. Oh, it's a three-headed dog. They've got so many of them now, and with the skins, there's so many out there now. Victory. Lin Jay getting those 30 kills to Lin Jay. Ed getting the 11 assists there. Losing most of his forces in the attempt, though. Yeah. Bun Bun's getting them scrolls. Congrats to you. Do we go gold or do we go green? Gold or green, chat? I'm going to put nutmeg in this while someone makes that decision for us. Green or gold? Gold. Bun Bun's making the early call. Guess we're going for gold. I'm gonna go buy this green crystal here. I'm gonna put a monk out there this time though, so I'm gonna be a little bit in the back. And keep in mind, that's sort of why I'm doing that, so that we all pass by the crystal and get its buff here, which it's going to add 40 defense, reduce enemies' healing, and spawn skeletons upon death. So that's the nutmeg in there. I have clove. I'm not going to do clove. Make sure we get those spices properly mixed in there. We'll set this off to the side for a moment. Let's see how this is doing. Can we split this in? Yeah, we can cut this now. Let's see if these are soft enough to sort of push down in now. Yeah. I don't know if we're really doing 8 of these. I know we're probably going to give 4 of them a good shot. I'm going to throw this in the freezer to stay chilled. Fresco. Sort of wondering what fresco is in food. I know it is an art. Cruise or not. Too thin. That makes sense. This way they all get a little acid from the lemon juice. They get a little sugar, they get a little seasoning. Should have put a pinch of salt in this, but oh well. Oops, broke that one. Broke that one. Gonna have to test that one out. Yep, that's apple. So that's one apple. That's about right. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the raid. Welcome, Working Weston. Thank you for that raid. What were we up to tonight? Where were we all coming from? I'm working on making some apple roses or apple flowers. Working on my first one, actually. Butter chicken. It has been a minute since I had me some butter chicken. I'm going to start in the center on this now. This is how I tend to do these. It seems to work the best for me. Is getting an outside part to the flower done. And then doing sort of a center and plopping the center into it. Nice. Oh, come on, stay together. Thinking I maybe should have made the outsides a bit bigger before I got into this and kept this smaller like this. Yep. This is just the start with these. Essentially, I've got them sliced. I've got them there. We've got muffin tins. I don't know that I'm going to do 8 of these, but I have some puff pastry in the bottom of these tins. We're going to put some foie gras underneath, and then we're going to layer our rose over the top. So that's actually the next step here, since we're going to be doing a couple of these. We have some pre-cooked flaw. Did this on stream on Monday. See the fat on the outside, you have the raw core to it. And then it's the end of it, so it sort of went into it. Hey, Lizzie, welcome in. I guess I was responding to you already. It shows me your new chatter over here, but I was looking at my chat over here, which is a different program. All right, so a little bit of our pre-made foie gras on the bottom. We're going to put that rose over the top of that. Just get my spatula for that. That is number one. Yeah, we may be only doing a couple of these, considering that took at least a third of that apple for the first one. I'm sure someone out there is laughing at me at how slow I'm doing this, because I've never really done these that often. I've done a few flowers here and there. Done a lot more of them with frosting than fruit. Where's some of the other thick pieces? Starting to get the hang of building these a little bit better, though. I'm not necessarily getting any quicker, but oh, come on. Let's do 4 of these. Let's see if we can't get one last one out of this. Doing this one the other way around, apparently. Didn't even think about it until I got halfway around that I was turning it the other way. This one might be tough to fill in. We don't got a ton of apple left here. I'm gonna give the battle a moment here. Alright, that one's a little loose, but we'll live with that. Let's do our battle. Let's go to war. Cold coffee. Nine verse 20. 8. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ranged saving the day. Wow. Porterhawk getting us those kills. Saving us all at the end. Fluffy Bun Buns, Lynn J getting honorable mentions for the kills. And Ed getting the assists. 200 gold. Who's going to get this? Ed with that. Congrats to you. Berserker here next to this crystal thingy. Then I'm going to say, there over. And from like, maybe there over. We'll stay in this area. See what we get in 30 minutes. Back to making our roses, or foie gras roses. I think I'm going to live with those 4 right there. I'm going to drizzle a bit more the leftover sugar, lemon juice, and spice. Down the center. Yeah, they take a little bit to do, but yeah. We can go ahead and get those in the oven here after I get my board cleaned up a little bit. No idea why. Something's got my citrus drawer all stuck up. And it's not like a new thing. I've cleaned it several times. I've cleaned the railing a couple of times. I have no idea, but it still sticks every single time. So annoying. Save myself an apple. Which reminds me, I keep meaning to make a dentist appointment. Nan Reader, I might try that, but if it's a plastic rail, so it's not like... It's not like it's a... the metal's wanting to spot weld or... sort of weird. It's, like I said, confuses me. Let's put this back in the fridge for the minute. Bacon's there just because bacon... everyone loves bacon. Who doesn't love bacon? How can you not love bacon? Pasta time. They're endless, Bun Buns. Hi, camera. Hi again, camera. Yeah, a little bit. It's doing okay so far. Well, if you're trying to get rid of it, I can give you an address you can send it to. I'm actually sort of thinking a full-blown smoker is probably too much for me. And I'm probably right with having that little electric smoker on my list of things that I'd like. Because I mean, there's no way I'm going to do that much smoking to be worth buying, $1,000 appliance or something. Traegers are ridiculously expensive. Bun buns. Relatively happy with that, but it is a little bit just a little too wet, a little too sticky. Welcome in, Catalina. How you doing this evening? Enjoy your errands. Give this one last fold. Then we'll start scaling down on thickness of the pasta. I really try and go as thin as possible, but that said, there's always a case where you want to have some chew with your pasta, or, depends on what you're doing at the same time, too. Like when I did lasagna a while back, I went as thin as this thing can go. If I do the spaghetti thickness, I only go down to about the fourth out of, and this will go somewhere in between the two. I don't know if it's going to be a 3 or a 2 or what, but sort of saying that in reverse because the numbers go up as it gets thinner on this thing.